We've had as many as up to 18 ambassadors from across the country, and the term of service is 2 years. And please note that this is a volunteer position, very key. The other thing is, for the criteria, what we're looking for in terms of ambassadors, their work experience. Ambassadors should have practical transit field experience. They should currently work for U.S. transit agencies, or they should work for regional, state, or local government transit agencies, or transit educational institutions, transit industry organizations, or private firms that provide goods and services to the transit industry. So you heard the key word there is somehow connected to transportation, and having that expertise there. Ambassadors are talented industry professionals who, as I said, voluntarily serve for 2 years. They help provide, as you've heard from the ambassadors, the latest developments in advanced technologies, the innovative management techniques, and best operating practices that the research provides. There is no need to reinvent the wheel, and this is what the ambassadors do. They go out and they talk to people in the community who are looking for some of this research. And basically, ambassadors provide the information, the insights, and the experience that help to introduce and support innovation. And if they don't know it beforehand, they come to learn and truly appreciate the value of research for the industry, which is why those who are selected to be ambassadors should have an interest in current areas of transit research. They should have the practical field experience. They should have successful experience in the application and implementation of transit research. They should have presentation and instruction skills, as Carol talked about, practicing speaking in public. They should have a commitment to use research and improve services, and it helps systems to achieve greater cost efficiencies. And one of the key things is they should have a willingness to share this knowledge and experience, both successes and failures with colleagues, because we do learn sometimes from our mistakes. And the other very key is that they must have support from their employer. And especially note, please, that individuals who are actively involved in the solicitation of other business engagements or who provide overall business direction and strategy to their firm are not eligible. And we can get into that, looking for people who are basically will devote all of their time to promoting the research and not to selling of their own business. COMPTO will notify each nominee in writing soon after his or her selection. And for the selection, we have a panel of industry leaders from several organizations, as you can see, who will select the next term of ambassadors using the criteria that I just explained. And you can see on the list here, it's a wide spectrum. We have, of course, from APTA and COMPTO and the Community Transportation Association of America, the Transportation Foundation, the Federal Transit Administration, the National Transit Institute, and the National Rural Transit Assistance Program, among others. And, of course, also the Transportation Research Board. The way to apply, how to apply, it's easy. It's very easy. You simply go to compto.org/TCRPAPP and apply online. I'll say it again, compto.org/TCRPAPP and apply. It's all right there, the information about the program and the application itself. You can even upload your supporting documents and everything. It couldn't be easier. If you prefer, you can download the application and email it to tcrp@compto.org, or you can fax it to 202-367-2181. I'll repeat that again. You can email your application to tcrp@compto.org, or you can fax it to 202-367-2181. And for those who want to mail it, you can mail it to Compto, attention TCRP, 1875 I Street, Northwest, Suite 500, Washington, D.C., 20006. Once the ambassadors have been selected, as I said, Compton will notify them immediately, and all new ambassadors will be required to participate in a training session once a date has been determined for that webinar. So stay tuned and get ready to save the date. As I said, the ambassador orientation and training will be held via webinar, and it will be very interactive. And the orientation would include all about the research process for TCRP, current research projects that are underway, presentation skills, the best way to go about it, and new ambassadors will also have the opportunity to have a Q&A with ambassadors, and you'll learn about the preparation of presentation materials. The requirements for new ambassadors: once you come on board, ambassadors must spend at least 10 days promoting TCRP research. That generally translates to about 2 conferences a year that they must attend. So for your 2-year commitment, you're really looking at 4 conferences at a minimum. But it's not only the various conferences. There are seminars, workshops, and other TCRP events in there as well. And we ask the ambassadors to visit transit properties in and around their own hometown and make presentations as required. It's very important to note, again, this is a volunteer position. There is no stipend. However, all expenses are covered by the program. And I would ask Peggy if you would come on and just talk a little bit about the logistics, please.
Sure. Okay. Again, my name is Peggy, and I'm on the TCRP team as well, and I am the point of contact, or lifeline, if you will, that handles all the logistics for the industry conferences that our ambassadors participate in. It's been a privilege and honor for me to have had the opportunity to work with all the different classes of ambassadors that we've had over the years. I mean, from 8 to 12 until the largest we've had this year, 18 ambassadors. And like Carol said, we've built some great relationships, bonds, and for me, engaging with our ambassadors as I send them off out in the field has just been a great experience. And as they could speak to it, I kind of like hold their hand for the most part, which I know I shouldn't, but it's just helping them get comfortable with the experience of being an ambassador and being out there and not having, you know, to be concerned about how they're going to do or what to expect. I try to kind of help them out. And my role in the whole process is that I secure the venues where our ambassadors can exhibit for the dissemination outreach, and I work with Compto to assign an ambassador to participate for the conferences. I'm in contact with our ambassadors from start to finish, providing them with the pertinent information to help them prepare and exit the conference smoothly, and I get our ambassadors registered for the conference and provide them with information for their large travel. I ship all the necessary research products and handout materials that our ambassadors need for their display booth, as well as put them in contact with an on-site person in case they have any questions or concerns at their conferences. And as we mentioned, as noted, that we don't provide a stipend for our ambassadors. The upfront cost covered by the program is the ambassador's registration as an exhibitor at the conferences, their travel, and their lodging. Meals and incidentals are reimbursable. We have a travel agent that works with our program that handles our travel and lodging for our ambassadors, and the ambassadors will establish a profile with our agent, which will be on file, and we will provide them with a program code to use to make their travel and lodging arrangements. So that's all taken care of up front for you. You don't have to worry about any out-of-pocket expenses for that. And the only thing you have to be concerned about is your meals and incidentals, which the program operates on a federal government per diem rate. for reimbursable for your meals and incidentals. The daily per diem rate for the meals and incidental is determined by the state the ambassador travels to, and that's at the government website at gsa.gov. I believe that's where it is. So that's where you would go and determine what your daily meal rate is, depending upon what state you'll be traveling to. And the meals are, incidentals are reimbursed 75% for the rate for that travel day and 100% for meeting days. So that's how it's reimbursed. And the program also, it reimburses for out-of-pocket expenses that are related to the conference trips, like your parking, boxes that may have to be shipped, if you have to incur any expenses for that, if you have to use the internet and pay out-of-pocket for that, your mileage, your gas, all that is reimbursable by the program as well. And our ambassadors have access to our ambassador website, which you have access to our expense forms there to fill out for reimbursable expenses, as well as the calendar that you can view for, like, if you have any for your conference trips that you are assigned to. And pretty much you can submit that to me either electronically or hard copy, and for the most part, most reimbursable expenses turnaround time is 7 to 10 business days after receipt of your expense report if there's no adjustments that needs to be made. And so that's it for me as far as my role and how I engage with our ambassadors. I'll try to make it as smooth as get you guys out there. If you are selected, you will see it will be a great experience. You don't have to concern about what's going to happen when you're out there, because we're pretty much in contact with you the whole time. And so it's something that I appreciate doing for the program.
Thank you, Peggy. And Peggy is the lifeline, and the three of us, Rachelle, Peggy, and myself, are there for the ambassadors, but Peggy is the main point of contact when the ambassadors are at the various conferences and out there in the field. And we have had occasions where three of us have needed to be involved in terms of a room not there or weather-related issues or all kinds of things that come up, and we can talk about that later. But thank you, Peggy. That was terrific.
You're welcome.
I just want to note that there are so many benefits of being an ambassador, both to the individual and to their employing organization. This is a prestigious industry-wide assignment. Ambassadors get to travel. They get to network with their industry colleagues. They not only share the latest research with them, but they also are able to bring that research and best practices right back to their own organization. This is an incredible opportunity, and I'm sure as you've detected from listening to the ambassadors today, nobody wants to leave when their term is over. And we do develop quite a bond over these 2 years. And it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. I think that this now is the perfect time for us to get into our questions and answers. We have a question about how many ambassadors are there. And as I believe I said earlier, we've had up to 18 ambassadors. In previous years, it's varied anywhere from 8 to 10 to 15. And the last class was a bumper. Bumper crop, if you will, and we had as many as 18. Another question here. Are those selected expected to have a certain number of years' experience? Rachelle, would you want to answer that one?
Yes, Jackie, thank you. As far as experience, what we do it on a case-by-case basis. We, again, look at the application. We see how well-rounded the applicant is. Let me put it this way. If you've been in a department, let's say 5 years, you've moved to another department, which was completely new, and it's only been 1 year, we just, as I said, we do it by a case-by-case basis. If you've only been in transit for 1 to 2 years, maybe 5 or less, that's where I would say stay where you are right now until you get the feel of where you've been and what your experiences are and what they mean to you and what that would mean to our program. So if it's 5 years or under, I would say no. 5 years, 5+ years, we would do that on a case-by-case basis, because we have found that you can't just put everybody in one pot. You need to look at it and what it would mean for what our needs are. So that's basically what we're doing, is we're matching up our needs. I hope that answer helps.
Thanks. That was good. Another question here is, if not selected this time, can you reapply? And the answer is absolutely. We look at, part of the selection process is years of experience. We also look on a geographic basis. So it's not necessarily that you weren't qualified. It just may be because we had X number of slots that we wanted to do this year. And so I would definitely urge anyone who applies and is not selected to reapply. Question here. Are ambassadors required to pull together specific materials for each conference they attend? Carol, would you like to take that one?
Yes. Well, I'll tell you what. This is where Peggy works her magic. So she knows exactly what type of topics are going to be discussed at the conferences. And in addition, she'll also ask the ambassadors, too, especially if it's a local, more of a local conference, like, you know, what are some things going on, what are some hot topics right now. So you're really trying to match up the materials to what's going on in that, both the locally, the region, and the conference. But to answer your question directly, no, you do not pull those materials together. Peggy does that. She ships them to the conference. When you get there, you find them, you get your table set up, and then you, if you have any reports left over, then you're going to package them back up and ship them back. Does that answer your question?
I think it does, yes. Are travel costs arranged and paid for through the program or reimbursed? Peggy, you touched upon that. Would you like to answer that again?
Yeah, I don't know if they heard me, if I spoke loud enough. Yeah, your upfront cost is covered by the program to include your travel and your lodging. Anything that your out-of-pocket expenses for is your meals and incidental, which is reimbursed by the program with our expense report when you return.
Peggy, may I just add to that? Just in case there are miscellaneous costs, and Peggy, again, you know, this is your area of expertise, but for instance, if you're going to a conference and they're going to have a golf outing, or they're going to have maybe travel to a certain area of interest, we do not cover that because it's not part, although it may be part of the conference, it is an outside event. We only cover what is part of the conference, the learning sessions, your booth, your lodging.
And I would just add to that, when you submit your expense reports, you would also have to submit a report to me at COMTO in order to get your reimbursement. We expect the report first and then the expenses would come. And we have had ambassadors who would pay for it, may stay another day, but it would be at their own expense if they wanted to explore an area or city or something of that nature, but it would be at their own expense, not on the program cost. Okay, another question. I'll let you take this with Rachelle. Are COMTO and APTA members given preferential selection?
No, absolutely not. Okay, now it's a situation where, how do I put this? We don't really apply. We've not had APTA or COMTO staff to apply because we're too into the program, if you will. This is an industry program. This is for our industry. COMTO members, meaning their members outside of the COMTO National and then outside of APTA. So actually the answer is no, because we don't have COMTO applicants in the sense of COMTO National or APTA offices to apply. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, and it's not to say that you can't be a member of APTA or COMTO. You can and still be an ambassador, but as to preferential treatment, the answer would be no. Why do you need a letter from management, and can you use vacation time?
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Letter of management needs to be aware of your whereabouts and your participation in this program, and they need to give you their blessing, basically, to say, yes, I believe in this program. I understand that you will be taking time away from the job to do this. That's why we want buy-in from management, so they're well aware, so there's no issues down the road. Now, if it's a matter of it's between you and your supervisor that you can do this, but you may have to take vacation time to do it, you need to square that away with your supervisor. We do not promote that. We don't want it. We hope that management will give us the buy-in to consider this. Yes, this is just part of what you do for the industry and for our organization, and that they won't force you to use vacation time. Again, if you do, we suggest that you take that up with your supervisor before you even attempt to get into this program. But we don't support that.
Okay. And I'll just do these just 2 more questions here. What challenges are there being an ambassador? Emil, would you like to address that?
Well, some of the challenges are actually making the time commitment to attend the conference. Because a lot of the conferences are scheduled several months ahead of time. And so you have to really make sure that you're committed to attending the conferences. And, most of us, all of us are professionals. And so you're always scheduling conflicts. And so those are some of the challenges that's probably one of the most difficult challenges I've faced in the ambassador program, actually making the commitment, having the time, and trying to manage all the other things that you're doing as a professional, and making sure that you're committed to the program. So the key really there is just to be flexible and be committed to the program as well.
Okay. All right, and then this last question is, how can I share this information with others? This webinar is being recorded and will be posted on the CompTIA website, so you'll be able to review it again in its entirety at any time. So please share it with your friends and colleagues. Look at it again if you want to listen again to any particular segment. Please contact me. Feel free to contact me if you have any further questions. I want to thank everyone. I want to thank all of our panel members for participating in this webinar about the TCRP Ambassador Program. And I just want to thank you all for joining us and wish everyone a happy afternoon.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you.
Thank you.